What's going on, guys? So today we have two more mods for my MK8 GTI. Today we're going to be doing the CTS intake and the CTS turbo muffler delete. Alrighty guys, so first things first, you're going to want to get yourself a pair of pliers and take that off right there. And then on the side right here, we have this SAE thing, which is pretty much, I'm assuming, for like vent to atmosphere. But it comes with a little filter in the kit. So you're going to want to push these two tabs and pull out. And then once you have this one off, you're going to want to make your way up to this clamp and you're going to want to take it off. That clamp, it is going to be a 7mm. Alrighty guys, so now that you have this clamp removed and this piece of the intake off and this SAE hose, there is going to be this vacuum line right here. So you're just going to want to slip that off. There's no clamps to it or anything. It just comes off just like that. And then after that, you're just going to want to pop out the air intake box and that's it. Alrighty guys, so I'm not too sure, but the MK7 and the 7.5, I'm not sure about the 8 either, but they say that you need to remove that piece just to make your life easier. Honestly, it's just really a waste of time. You don't have to. So pretty much when you're removing the intake box, you just have to pull it out and rotate like this. That way it slips out of the snorkel that's right there from the little entrance from the front. Alrighty, so just reminding you guys once again, that clamp that was over there was a 7mm. Alrighty guys, since we are going to be doing the CTS turbo muffler delete, we are going to want to remove the stock turbo elbow just to make our life completely easier. This could help for your guys' future references if you guys want to do a turbo elbow. An upgraded one at least, it could be from old 34 CTS. It's literally just one bolt, and that bolt right there is going to be a T30's bit. Alrighty guys, so as you can see, we have the turbo elbow out now. I did forget to mention that T30's bolt right there, once it's loosened, it doesn't have to come out completely. It's just going to sit in the housing. But once you have it loosened, you are going to want to rotate it towards the firewall and then pop out. But be careful if you're not going to be replacing that turbo elbow. Just be careful with not ripping that O-ring. That way you could reuse it and won't have to go out of your way to go to AutoZone or O'Reilly's to get a new one. Since we are going to be doing the turbo muffler delete, there's going to be 3 bolts. One there, one in the bottom in the front, and one in the bottom in the back. Those are all T30's bolts, by the way. But first things first, we're going to be wanting to remove this clamp right here. That clamp is a 7mm. After we loosen that, we're going to want to remove the hose. That way it makes it easier. You're just going to want to remove it off of the lip. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That way it gives you more room to take it out. Alrighty guys, as you guys can see, we already have the bolts taken off from the turbo muffler and the hose removed. A little tip, remove this bolt that's connected to the charge pipe. It's connected to the motor, and once you have that removed, it gives you this play right here. And it just comes in clutch. That way you can remove the bolts from the turbo muffler easier and you won't drop them. As you guys can see, we have the stock turbo muffler out. I put it off to the side. This is a stock turbo muffler, as you guys could see. I did end up going with the CTS turbo muffler delete just because I really like their quality. The prices are good and the performance is amazing. I also went with them on my wife's Mark 7.5. Products are amazing. But as you guys can see, this is the turbo muffler delete from CTS. You guys can see the difference right there between the stock and the CTS one. The stock one has a bunch of these little slots and more restriction, I guess you could say, to reduce the turbo noise, and the CTS one doesn't. It just has 2 of them. So I'll catch you guys once I have it on the car. As you guys can see, I already have the turbo muffler delete installed, nice and tightened. Everything's tightened. I moved the clamps, that way I have easier access next time I need to be down there. Honestly, I found it easier to remove this coupler completely. And with that bolt being loose, it gave me so much more room to push it to the side. That way my whole hand fits under there and I could worry less about dropping the bolts. So now that we have the stock turbo elbow back in, it's time to move on to installing the CTS intake. So if we come over here, The CTS intake, not sure if you guys have gotten anything from them, but it comes with the couplers, it comes with 2 clamps, it comes with the weather stripping, some zip ties, and also the rubber grommets for the air intake box. Alright guys, so just finished building up the intake box. As you guys can see, I didn't get the gaps perfect, but it's kind of hard to do it with just one person and tighten them at the same time, since you do have to use an Allen key and a wrench. But other than that, it's pretty simple. I did put the bolts through the top. That way, once we put it through, the nuts are just hiding in the back and it gives it a cleaner look. But pretty much, as you guys could see, the kit came with these rubber grommets. So you're going to want to put them in the holes. There's 3 of them and there's one in the bottom right there. But once you have that in, you're just going to want to put them in those. And it pretty much just inserts pretty easy, pretty simple. Alrighty guys, so now that you have it in, you're going to want to do what I had just said, which is the grommets, push it in. And then when you're putting the intake box in, you're going to want to put it in forward, the same way we took out the stock box, but reverse it pretty much. That way it gets air from the snorkel that's in the front, and it's all good, sits nice, you just pretty much push it in. Alrighty guys, so the kit did come with this little mount and 2 bolts. Pretty much what this mount does is that it makes it stiffer, that way it mounts onto the engine bay, that way it doesn't move around when you're driving or such and such. But it also came with this vacuum hose that installs to this little nipple right here from the one that we took off on the stock box. And for the mount for the intake, all it is it's just going to slip in right here. That's where it's going to mount. There's this hole right here that you could just slip in a bolt. And pretty much that's going to act like a mount for the intake. That way it's sturdy. But yeah, I'll catch you guys when I have it on. So, as you guys can see, we have everything on. The clamps are tightened. The brackets right there put in place. I never tighten it just because it's easier for me whenever I have to go back in there. I could just slip it out. But as you guys can see, it's still sturdy. But as well as we also have the vacuum hose connected already. And for this SAE thing, CTS provides a little filter for it. It's over here. No clue what it's for, but I'm assuming it's for emissions. But yeah, it's pretty much just a little mini filter. As you guys can see, it's just a little filter. All you're going to want to do with this is just slip it in. It'll click in place. And that's it. I'll catch you guys when I have it on. Alright guys, as you can see, I have everything on. As for this, not sure what it's for. I'm assuming it's like a vented atmosphere type of thing. All I know is that it's for emissions. But I have the filter on for the intake. And then, as you guys can see, I have a zip tie right here to this hose. And then the vacuum hose is zip tied as well. Also, I also put the weather stripping on the intake box right here, down there, and then even in the bottom over here. But here's a good example. You guys could see that the box is getting direct air from the snorkel in the front. But that's pretty much it. If this video was helpful, like, comment, follow, and catch you guys on the next one. Thank you.